I'm going to attempt a new bit now. Renaissance man, ladies and gentlemen, Renaissance man. I can fuck up poetry and I can fuck up music as well. This is going to be a piece, an excerpt from my upcoming one-man show, Johnny Fluffypunk searches for the hero inside himself. Goes to bed disappointed. This again is a true story. This relates to my father, and this relates to me coming out as a political animal. It's a kind of monologue. Mum wore the trousers in our house. And what trousers? Vast buff girl corduroys against which her buttocks strained with playful mystery, like a gift-wrapped moon. Father had to channel his maleness elsewhere, so at the top of the loft ladder, in the cobwebbed recesses of the attic, he built himself an empire. He fashioned a kingdom of papier-mâché hills and fuse-wire trees, of resin lakes and cardboard villages, through which 00 scale Hornby trains rattled his tiny dreams to destinations of his imagination. It was a calm and law-abiding kingdom, for Father held dominion from the control panel at the centre, a brill-creamed Fuhrer in station master's hat and Paris-cut combinations, running his fingers over the controls, feeling at their tips the electric hum of power! Then one day, something happened. Exactly what, I never knew. Perhaps a Friday night fight in one of the cardboard pubs. Perhaps graffiti in a miniature bus stop, or an act of gross indecency behind the plugged-together Hornby engine shed. Whatever it was, something had shattered that law-abiding tranquility. And Father was distraught, and his revenge was swift, and it was brutal. My brothers and I were summoned down from downstairs to bear witness, and in Father's eyes, learn something. And we stood huddled shoulder to shoulder, fondling ourselves and each other through our pyjama bottoms for comfort. As Father raged against the Eden which had betrayed him. Using his swagger stick, which he had whittled from the thigh bone of a conscientious objector, Father drove the tiny 176 scale plastic population from their houses, where they huddled in terrified masses in gardens and streets and village squares, as above them their god raged like a Benzedrine Gulliver taking revenge on his Lilliput. "You ungrateful bastards!" he said, his hands sweeping down to pluck from amongst them men, women and children at random. Those whom Father decreed must be made an example of. And then he marched them, heads bowed, to the top of the largest of the papier-mâché hills, and there, without trial, without ceremony, without mercy, like the hero of some Richard Littlejohn wank fantasy, he strung them up. He strung them up from fish-wire nooses strung from those fuse-wire trees, and then taking a packet of swan vestas from beneath his station master's hat, Father struck a match which he held aloft where it glowed in the sky like a terrible comet, before he swept it down and held it beneath the twitching plastic crutch of one of his little victims, and with an evil hiss, an acrid curl of thick black smoke twisted tortuously upwards against the endless, pitiless sunset of the 40-watt attic bulb. And there was a terrible silence, and we turned, prisoners of our thoughts, and returned from whence we'd come. The tiny little 176 scale plastic villagers back to their sad houses. My brothers and I back downstairs, and in the womb of my bedroom I wept. I wept, ladies and gentlemen. I wept for those little victims up there and for victims of savage authority everywhere. And my heart broke, and something in me died that night, ladies and gentlemen. An innocence died. And I turned to my little bedside altar, and I took down the effigy of Valerie Singleton, which I'd made from wax and skin and real human teeth. And in my hot, angry hands, I remodelled it. I remodelled it into a figurine effigy of Mick Jones from The Clash. And then I slept, ladies and gentlemen. I slept long. When I awoke, I was an anarchist. Okay, this is another poem about shattered dreams. Okay,